Welcome to the Pixel Response Podcast.
Trying to scare the cat away also, because he's going to cause problems.
Well, we're back.
We're back. It's the Pixel Response 164. That's
Yeah.
kind of a cool video gaming number because of the Nintendo Virtual Boy.
Yeah.
It had 64 bits.
Yep.
No, I don't know if that's true. I think it had 32. I don't even know if that's true.
It might have actually had two, red and black.
Red and black, 2 bits. That's why it didn't do so great. Even us 90s kids could see more colors than that. So.
Yeah. None of us really liked it, honestly.
No. Did anything great come out of that?
No.
Like, Telero Boxer?
No, there's a Wario Land game that apparently is okay, except like your retina is being burned out of your head as you play it.
Oh, that's a bit of a caveat, yeah.
Yeah. But it had this cool back and forth thing where you could go jump into the background to get past some parts and
like two planes of play. Okay, that's kind of neat. So
yeah.
So we're it's all Virtual Boy today. That's what we're going to be talking about. Just go through our favorites. No, I'm joking. That was it. That was the segment. That's all we have. Wario Land. So let's get right into some sports. That's why people are here. I'm Nathan, by the way. We did that weird last time.
Oh yeah.
This is Nathan and
I'm Paul. That's me. Yep.
Yeah. And this is the Sumo Cast.
Yep.
We're here to talk about the 45th Emperor's Cup for Grand Yokozuna Hakuho. He won. He totally hit Terunofuji with his forearm real hard, and it was gnarly.
Yeah. Put one arm out to kind of take his attention, and then smacked him with his elbow, essentially.
Yeah, I kind of flinched when that happened. It's rough. But Terunofuji still did pretty darn good, so he gets to get promoted as well, which is nice because, they could use some good burly people at the top. It makes things more exciting.
Yeah, sure.
So, yeah. So the 73rd Yokozuna will be Terunofuji capping the great comeback, which is kind of awesome. It would have been nice to do it with a cup, but, Hakuho is real tough, so... And I'm glad he's tough again. I was worried he'd be real hurt and couldn't perform at the top.
Yeah, his first or second match or whatever it is was a little close because it almost seemed like he was a little not unsure of his leg. And then there was a point in that match even where it was oh, okay, my leg's fine. Let's do this. And then he wins.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
it's wobbly for a bit.
And then from there on, it's just yeah, no problem, I guess.
Just take care of everybody. I mean, it's a little weird because he didn't have to fight a couple Ozeki that would normally be there, but that's just how it went. Takakeisho went out early in the tournament, and Asanoyama is now in purgatory.
Asanoyama is now out of the league, essentially. So yeah.
So can't get any upsets there, but whatever. He fought all the top dudes and beat them all, including Takayasu. So I got that Makikoshi with him. I did not choose the greatest team this time, but
I have numbers if you are interested.
I'm also curious about the special prizes. I didn't really hear who got fighting spirit and stuff.
I don't know.
Okay.
I summed up choices basically based on one super simple because it was kind of a last minute thing. 1 point per win, no point per loss. Obviously. Okay. So the maximum that you can reach with 5 is 75 points total. If
everybody gets a Zensho.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't happen.
Which is impossible.
Unless they're all in the same Heya and it's the weirdest playoff you ever saw.
Do you want to guess what your point total was? If you were to just take a quick shot in the dark. I'll tell you mine. Mine was 40. I had 40 points.
I think I had 2 7 and 8 guys, so that's 14. And what did Hoshoryu end with? 10 and 5?
You had 48.
Oh, did I?
Yeah. 48 points.
Okay.
So you had...
So I got half of that with what I was just counting. And then Terunofuji is 14 right there.
Well,
so that's 38.
So Your guys were Terunofuji, Takayasu, Hoshoryu, Onosho, and Ura.
Oh,
right?
yeah, Ura did pretty good. That was the other 10.
Ura and Hoshoryu did 10 each. Onosho and Takayasu 7, and then Terunofuji 14.
Man, I was a little choked. Like, one of Ura's losses was like a hair pull, and it was like otherwise like a really great throw.
It was day 13.
But it's like, oh, he caught some of Kaisei's hair or something. It was like,
It was day 13, and the bummer about it is that it would have been 7 wins in a row had that not happened.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty crafty move, too, and then it was like, oh, right, that thing. So, yeah, what are you going to do? But, yeah. There you go. Oh, what do they call that disqualification?
I don't remember.
You don't grab a dude's hair. It's not cool. You can't do that. Instant disqualification.
I mean, that's just life.
Don't peel people's hair. That's like playground rules. Like all the way up to the top level of sumo. You can't do that.
I'll give you a couple more numbers here. The lowest scoring is a dude. Listen to this team that was chosen because he was pretty bummed about his team after a few days.
Tochi Noshin.
I don't know. Wakataka Kage, Meisei, Endo, Tobizaru, and Ura. What is his? So
didn't Meisei do okay though? I thought he got Kachikoshi.
He barely did. He's 8. He was 8-7.
Yeah. He was the only like new Komusubi to hold on to that spot.
Wakataka Kage, terrible. He ended off on a good note. The last match was very good for him.
Yeah.
He did fucking terrible.
Like 5 and 10.
5 and 10. Yeah, he did 5 and 10.
I mean, it's hard once you get into the Sanyaku. Like, it's all the top dudes, so it can overwhelm people. So I wasn't too surprised by that. I wish his brother and Juryo got 8 and 7 because he could have been promoted into the top division, but he fell short. He got like 7 and 8.
Oh, bummer.
So we won't have 2 Waka brothers in the top, which I really wanted to happen.
Oh man.
But maybe next time, Wakamoto Haru down in Juryo, he's got to get like 10 or something now to move up from J5 or whatever they're going to demote him to. Also in Juryo, there was Takagenji got caught with weed.
Oh, cool.
Which is really not not a big deal here, but it was like, oh crap, is he gonna like go to jail? Because Japan is totally zero tolerance on all of that,
everything. Yeah.
So it's like not only is he in trouble with like the league, it's like, oh, they've reported him to the Tokyo Metropolitan Police and they're investigating. It's like that's so lame.
It's so stupid.
All right, so yeah, hopefully Takagenji doesn't get arrested. I don't know. That story kind of just broke today. So a lot of Takaganja jokes going on, which like Twitter's pretty good at finding those. So, yep. But yeah, that's kind of the Banzuke is going to change dramatically, but that hasn't been announced yet. So yeah, Nagoya Basho, Cup 45. I watched the interview, but I couldn't really get much out of it because it's all in Japanese.
So I watched the interview as well. The auto translate captions on YouTube got me pretty close, but also there is, maybe if I can find it, I'll link it to you if you care enough about it.
I read like an article that at least translated one quote or something, but I was like, he said a lot more than that.
There was somebody has on their YouTube or whatever, they were like watching it and translating at like over it at the same time in English. Yeah. So that was
neat. I might have to look for that channel then. I kind of was just doing Nato Sumo and they don't do that.
Remind me. I'll find it for you. I have it somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Overall, how did you feel about the Basho? Like, pretty fun?
Yeah, so obviously the thing was, had to see Hakuho versus Terunofuji. Had to see him do his thing, become Yokozuna. That's all there. I chose some stinkers for my team, and that's kind of a bummer. I expected more out of Wakataka Kage, as I've said. I'm not going to belabor the point, but he did pretty terrible, all things considered. Daisho fucked me in a way that is like...
What did he end with? Like
5-10.
3-12? Oh, okay. I thought it was worse than that.
No, the worst one was Kotoeko. He was like the one that was like 2-13, I think. 2-13. Yep, just confirmed.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So pretty bad. There were some real like standouts though. Like I was pretty like besides Tamawashi and Kotonowaka, like they were very good. They did extremely well this time around.
Yeah, I think Kotonowaka had like 12-3 or something.
That's right. Yeah, he did 12-3.
One of his best tournaments. Yeah,
I was impressed with Ichi Yamamoto, but I don't know
that was his debut in the top division, I think.
I don't know he hangs yet in the top division of it because I don't know. He still had some troubles here and there, especially on the last days.
I think his second week got pretty rough and ended with like 8-7, I think.
Yeah, but it was a bummer.
Yeah, Onosho had like a better second week anyway. Like he was really dragging my team down for the first week.
Yeah.
But, he managed to get like 4 out of the final 6 or something and did okay. But yeah.
He got 4 out of the final 5. For what that's worth, so he did pretty good on the last few days specifically. Yeah.
So thanks, Onosho. Sorry I was so mad at you the first couple days. I don't know. I'm sure it's tough.
And Ishura did okay for me as well. So
yeah, he had a nice win streak in the middle there, and then
7
a rough final few, right? A little bit. I
would say it's less quality from him at the end there, but he still managed a couple wins in there.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you have any standout, like, besides the obvious ones, of course? Do you care about Shodai? It was kind of interesting to see that
Shodai...
Man,
I do. Like, he was kind of doing really well when I started watching sumo, so he became one of my favorite Rikishi, but he's been having some really wobbly Ozeki tournaments. Like, he's not really doing the rank proud.
Yeah.
He barely managed 8-7 in this tournament, which he's not Kadoban, but he probably should have been.
I've been referring to him as the last true Ozeki because Asanoyama is out, essentially. Takakeisho, we don't know what's going on with him yet. He might be just done. Who knows?
I sure hope not. I hope that injury's not as serious as that because he's still a young guy. He's like 24 or 25 or something.
Yeah.
So I was kind of hoping he could become Yokozuna as well.
And then Terunofuji, everybody just was just like in the waiting room for Yokozuna. He like Shodai was like the last one that's like, yeah, he's Ozeki rank. And it kind of proved it here where it's like he barely made it or he barely hung on. So this is probably where he's going to stay.
I don't think this is his peak kind of thing.
Right.
This rank. Yeah. Like he sometimes can get fancy around the edges and like spin out of trouble in fun ways, but that wasn't really working this time.
Yeah.
Some kind of embarrassing losses. So he won a tournament last year that I was really happy about, but yeah, it's been since then some pretty rough times. But he got to hoist that fish, got to be an Ozeki, so
yeah,
still pretty good. I got my Ozeki shirt.
Gotta feel like, I know you like him, so you gotta feel pretty bad for Takayasu, because those 2 absences really would have helped him, like, make or break.
Yeah, he could have had an extra couple chances at getting Kachikoshi. He was still close, but
yeah,
I forget, like, what some of the losses were just kind of...
They were all at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't close out the tournament very well, but oh well. Still pretty good. Oh, he's going to get demoted then, though, too.
He is.
So there's going to be some vacancies in the Sanyaku. Hokuto Fuji might get in there. Ichinojo, the Mongolian mountain.
I fucking hate Ichinojo. Fucking hate him.
He's just so big.
I've decided that I like Takayasu more, even though like I hate his face because it reminds me of worse times in my life. He's at least like a solid competitor and is always just like good.
I've come to really like his like pre-fighting ritual where he kind of like breathes out while slapping. It's just this like thing that they keep focusing on. It's just just something about it.
They do focus on him slapping a lot.
Yeah, it's good at slapping his own gut.
Yep.
Some psych out moves. I don't know, but yeah. Sumo times. But hey, let's pivot to some more sports world stuff. A new feature film came out featuring the greatest athlete in the world, LeBron James. I think they call him that in the movie.
Is he, okay, like let's just put all the bullshit aside. Is he currently?
No.
I'm trying, like, who, because, like, the people that I think of that are, like, greats or whatever, most of them have retired or, unfortunately, have passed on.
Oh, sure. Man, it's tough because he had, like, one of his first major injuries in his career this season and then didn't do well in the playoffs, but it's, like, literally the first time that's happened where he's lost in the first round. So yeah, there's a lot of like grumbling and debating as to whether he's still like a top 5 guy in the league anymore.
Oh, okay.
But generally speaking, he's pretty good. He's pretty good at basketball.
There definitely was a time though where he was the best. Probably
he was the best. Yeah, there was a good stretch where he was going to the finals every single year for like 8 years or something.
Oh,
which
okay.
was crazy.
Yeah, that's
didn't
pretty
win
good.
all of them, which people get snarky about, but
I will tell you one thing.
Rabbit holes.
As good as he is at basketball, apparently, he is that equally as fucking terrible at acting in every regard. Every time he's on screen in that movie, I fucking hated it.
That voice acting, right? That was the saving grace.
It was about the same. I don't know. It's just that there's like no expression in his voice or something. I don't know what it is.
Okay.
It just deadpan, like, for everything.
Yeah,
and I know
obviously we're talking about Space Jam, a new legacy, brand new motion picture just came out in theaters and HBO Max.
Right.
We were kids when that first movie came out. Michael Jordan and Bugs Bunny teamed up. A bunch of relevant music artists put together a sick soundtrack.
Yep.
In 1996.
That was one of my first CDs I bought with my own money.
There you go. Was it like Bugs Bunny, like Bunny Jordan?
Yeah,
like,
and then
was that the cover?
The Space Jam logo in the middle
with like rings or whatever.
Yeah.
Type rings
because space was the kind of theme. That time.
Like outer space.
Outer
because
space.
aliens.
Yeah.
Now it's cyberspace because it's the Serververse at Warner Brothers, which I will say, like, I just kind of fell into a space where I was not like mad at what was happening with Warner Brothers cameos, but like every critic review I was reading was like, ugh, this is just like advertising overload. This is more product than movie. And it was like, oh, I didn't notice that as that. It was just like, yeah, they're at Warner Brothers, so of course it's going to do that. Like, I don't know. I was just like not cluing into the fact that I was being advertised at, I guess, but
I think we can get there because that's all in the like actual game itself, right? There is
the game. Oh, sure. There's millions of dumb cosplay grade cameos.
Oh, I thought that's what you were referring to specifically.
Yes, there's that. There's also like the Rick and Morty cameo, which is a Warner Media property, I guess.
Sure.
Which I was just like, oh, right, sure. I guess that's flexing your library or something if you want, but I don't think that's what they're doing.
Oh,
like
also,
like,
I should say
we're trying to sell Blu-rays of Casablanca. Like, I don't think that was the angle.
We should say, in case it wasn't obvious, spoilers. It like for whatever reason.
I guess on OK Video we spoil everything right away.
Yeah.
But we should be sensitive. This just came out. This is a brand new motion picture.
Yeah.
I don't know what we'd spoil exactly. LeBron.
I mean, they win. Because of course they do.
Okay, well, oh yeah, sure. LeBron does not lose this championship. It goes his way in this one.
Yeah, right.
But do they cheat in their battle against Algae Rhythm with the double jumping? Like, that's up for debate.
Yeah, that's a controversy for sure.
Yeah, the officiating in this game kind of gets a little gnarly, but they use an exploitative glitch, kind of like NHL '93 we were talking about. If you do a specific step back move, it crashes the video game, and in that crashy state you can still score a bucket, I guess, and that's how they win the game at the end,
of course.
So yeah, spoilers.
But
yeah, LeBron's a tough dad, I guess, who really cares about basketball too much. And his son cares about video games, kind of like us over here at the Pixel Response.
Yeah.
And he wants to go to the E3 video game camp.
Yeah. There's the first advertisement, I guess. I never really considered even.
Yeah, no, I did turn to Brittany and I was like, man, the ESA is like stoked right now.
Totally.
Because like their brand is the E3 is kind of fading. but now it's in this big new movie, so maybe it'll help him out. But yeah, he wants to develop video games, and he's already made a game called Dom Ball, which is his take on NBA Jam. Really, they never say that, but it's an over-the-top side-scrolly basketball game. And Algie Rhythm, who's played by Don Cheadle, he has this great new idea to digitize LeBron and just put him in a bunch of movies and stuff. But LeBron says that's a dumb idea, and he gets really offended by that. So he tricks LeBron's son into going into the server room, and then he just pulls him into the serververse via some giant orb that they don't really explain. And then LeBron follows him and makes a Matrix joke, and then gets also sucked into the serververse, and then we're off to the races, really. So you did not really enjoy this motion picture experience. When did it lose you? Was it immediate, or did it never have you?
The thing is that there are things about it I like. I kind of enjoy the idea that this is more of a like old school versus new school type thing, just all around. Like there's the like new computer like algorithmic taking like this player and this animal for whatever reason and making like a monstrous like amazing ball player out of them, and like this weird digitization of everything. And then on the other side, it's just like Boomer, essentially, like gotta pull you up by your bootstraps, and Bugs Bunny and old cartoons, and tunes will overtake CG animation. Like, I don't know, there's like an old versus new thing going on throughout there that I found kind of enjoyable, like, honestly.
Okay, yeah.
But I feel like they were setting that up for a bit, and then it just doesn't matter at some point. Like during the game, they're just like, nah, it doesn't matter. The old school's doing new school shit now to win. Which I was like,
he just learned to like kind of get cool with what his son's doing, and
I wasn't expecting that, but like I was like, okay, that's interesting. He actually like changed, essentially. He's using Zoomer tactics now, and they're working.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
And the Looney Tunes have to just be themselves and be loony, and that's their key to success this time, is not being serious and playing fundamental basketball.
Yeah.
It's playing loony basketball for style points, which completely like ruins the tension of the basketball game.
300 points. Like
300 that was a 300 pointer. And like the movie is kind of like, what? But then in the final moments of the basketball game,
it goes back to
they
normal.
kind of realize they can't do that, because it'll be like, well, I don't know, that was a pretty sick dunk. Is that not worth like 100? And it's like, no, it's worth 2. Yeah. Why? Well, because that's basketball. I know, but this whole
because
time,
they're down by 1.
Yeah,
that's
like
why.
It comes down to conventional like buzzer beater type stuff, instead of just like, no, he did a sick double jump. He got
5 billion points.
Yeah, just blows up the scoreboard with the sickest dunk. It's like, no, he got 2 points and they won.
Yeah. So that's annoying, first of all, that they kind of don't follow through fully with that premise,
with their
just in general.
New rules that they bring. Yeah.
I really just don't like LeBron. I like every time he's on there, I just think he's just like a wet blanket or something. Everyone else. Okay, listen, I understand acting to nobody or to like a mop or something on a green screen is probably fucking impossible for people that are trained to do it. So
sure, it's challenging. If you're not Bob Hoskins, like, how are you going to pull that off, you know? Like, it's really...
And it made him crazy. He started thinking that he was like seeing tunes every now
Rabbits.
and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't necessarily fully blame him. He is a basketball star. He's not an actor. It's very obvious here that the reason he's here is the same reason Jordan was. It's because they have a name, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's fine.
I'm trying to think what's the issues. I did think it was smart, and I was hoping the movie would do this, to have him mostly voice acting for like a big chunk of the movie. He's like cartoon LeBron. While they're recruiting the team and stuff. So that saves some of that, because you can just get it somewhat right in the studio, or at least have the cartoon version of him making funny smirks and stuff that he doesn't really do when he's human. But then during the final game, he has to be really him again. And then they kind of stop for the family-centric moment where he like hugs his son and everything. I was like, oh, this is so bad. Like this isn't working at all. But at least this movie's like concerned about LeBron's family as opposed to like Michael Jordan's family in the first movie.
Yeah,
is just like,
they don't exist.
Where is Michael Jordan? It's just like, oh, he's at his other game. What? Like, they don't even really care that he's been abducted for like a couple days.
Sure.
It's just like, oh, Michael's off doing Michael stuff, like whatever. It's just like, oh, all right. But that makes that movie get to save half an hour of runtime.
Yeah.
By just being a nice, lean, efficient, like 89-minute movie or whatever.
Sure.
Like, just get down to it. So I still kind of like how lean that movie is. This movie's like almost 2 hours. I didn't know that when I like sat down.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't want to know. I just want to like see if I get bored or whatever. And then, yeah, there's kind of like the game is really long and I don't think I liked all of it.
It's
like
not
once
good.
they're actually playing basketball, it was like, oh, this kind of sucks. Like this is worse than the recruiting section of the movie.
Sure.
Where they're at least doing dumb movie cameo stuff or whatever. Like I was not expecting Fury Road to factor into this movie at all.
Okay.
So I kind of like that bit with Wile E. Coyote.
Yeah.
Like saying "witness me" or whatever and jumping onto a truck. Like, it was just like dumb. Like great. Wow. All right. R-rated properties are fair game, I guess. Like why not?
Sure.
So yeah. But I love Ready Player One. So
yeah, I don't. So
yeah,
I think there's some of their disconnect might be just in there between the two of us anyway, just in general. I will say that whole final game was me looking to see what cameos were there, and every version of Batman villains was there from different properties, and it's fucking weird. There was like old school Mr. Freeze, Batman and Robin version of Mr. Freeze, like 3 different versions of Batman and Robin themselves in the crowd randomly. It's fucking weird.
Okay.
The Penguin.
I just kept seeing Penguin like over and over, like Danny DeVito Penguin.
Yeah,
like
he was
the
there.
main guy I noticed, and then like Pennywise and the Droogs from Clockwork Orange, which is
they were there.
Not appropriate. Like it's just like, are kids supposed to like get stoked about these Warner movies after they see it? Like what is the angle here? Like all of this is R-rated stuff or like PG-13 old stuff that I just don't know. I don't really get what they were doing. Maybe that's just for us.
Yeah, I guess the villains were in the villain area, so yeah, I guess that's just the way that goes. Sure. The Iron Giant, because there can't be a property with any cameos anymore without the Iron Giant making an appearance.
Yeah, I mean he was prominent in Ready Player One, and then he's here high-fiving King Kong and stuff. Yeah. In the crowd. They were supposed to be on the team in an early like hope by LeBron, but it's all Looney Tunes at the end because Bugs has kind of lost it and just wants his friends back. So he kind of rigs the team to just be those guys.
Yeah, there was a cool little like subplot there of like the Tunes have like moved on essentially, and Bugs is like again with like the old and new thing. Bugs is still stuck in like this old like we're Tunes
40s world. Yeah,
we need to be friends here or whatever. Yeah.
My favorite like joke LeBron delivers at all was when Bugs is talking to Porky Pig and he's just like, that's just a pile of pumpkins. It was pretty good. Yeah. It's just Bugs is all alone and losing it, and I found that pretty funny.
My favorite joke was Tweety says, "You're a bad dad." And I laughed real hard.
Savage. Wow. That's harsh, Tweety. I think Tweety's the original voice from Space Jam also. Like a lot of the cast has changed since 25 years ago. But yeah, I think that I read that somewhere. I don't know what's with all the Matrix stuff. Like I know they're bringing it back as a property. Like there's supposed to be a new sequel, but it just seemed a little Matrix heavy for 2021. I don't know.
Oh, you know what? I liked every gag with Marvin the Martian. I thought those were good.
Yeah.
Those were fun.
Pretty good. They need to steal his spaceship, so they kind of trick him into coming there, and
he just keeps getting hit by the spaceship in different ways, like a couple times. It's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. His dog was there. Oh, no Pepe Le Pew because he's canceled. Like because
he's a rapist.
Now.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Kind of is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Speedy Gonzalez is fine though, and he's also got Matrix powers. He can jump over bullets, which is a scene that happens. Is someone tries to murder Speedy Gonzalez?
I feel like I have to kind of turn this over a little bit, because as much as I didn't like LeBron James like in this movie at all, I really thought Don Cheadle looked like he was having a great time. He was eating up every line.
Yeah, I was worried about that because in the trailer I wasn't getting that vibe, but in the actual movie, yeah, he brings a lot more energy to everything.
He loves being here. He loves it.
Dressing as Steve Jobs and eventually transforming into like a 9-foot basketball monster.
Yeah.
You know,
he's having fun.
Yeah,
and that made me have
doing
fun.
Okay. Yeah. He's got a creepy voice sometimes. Like they kind of modulate his voice, and I guess alluding to when he transforms, maybe. But I was ready for him to be some sort of weird virus or something, some extra thing to that.
Yeah.
But whatever. Yeah, he's just a no good algorithm who's too profit driven, or I'm not really sure what the lesson was. It was a bit murky, but yeah. Just be yourself. If you like video games more than basketball, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just go own that. I
also,
guess.
Don't worry about working hard to make it, because it'll just happen.
Well, yeah, because LeBron's lesson initially is like you got to put in the work, and then eventually it's like apparently that's not true.
Yeah,
so,
like the movie kind
it's
of
a little weird.
Undermines that. And that's
I was also kind of miffed that he like threw away a Game Boy. He just kind of. I'm not supposed to play this anymore. Right in the garbage.
Like, I know Bugs Bunny's Birthday Bash or whatever game he was playing, maybe it's the castle one actually, isn't that good, but you don't have to throw it out. Tetris is on that thing.
Don't throw the whole system in the garbage.
Also, it's your buddy's? Because he lent it to you?
Yeah, I wasn't sure what happened there. Like, the movie starts with, like, 13-year-old LeBron at practice or something. Or, like, a game, I guess, as a youngster.
Yeah.
But he's so distracted by this Looney Tunes Game Boy game that he's just not in the game, you know? His head isn't in it. So they lose that game. And then the coach kind of chastises him after. And, yeah, his friend had, like, just handed them this before the game, and he just throws it in the garbage. There might have been a line or something where that kid can't have that Game Boy anymore, so he gave it to him. Maybe is what Brittany said. Like, it's like, oh no, he gave him that. It's like, oh, okay, I missed a beat or something. I was still enjoying my root beer or something, and I missed that. But yeah, this was the first movie this year that we saw in a movie theater. That's how important this was as a cultural touchdown. So there was that experience. Oh, if I may, that experience was weird because this is ostensibly a kids movie, so you get exposed to like a lot of kids movie trailers that you just would never think about.
Oh, sure.
So it was weird being like, oh man, that Clifford movie's like real. That's not like a Photoshop joke going around Twitter. That's like really happening. So yeah, Clifford the Big Red Dog looks like a movie I don't want to watch. That dog's big is the bit, and they're gonna make a movie.
I mean, that's always been the bit. That's what that dog is.
It's like Marmaduke 2, really.
Yeah, kind of.
But with this like kind of weird orangish looking, like I think it's that the dog has like, it's realistically proportioned and like looks like a real dog, whereas in the drawings it looks like a crazy cartoon dog, so you don't think anything of it. But here it's like, no, that's like a real dog. It's just like click drag and now it's big. And it's like color toned differently. I don't know. There's a fourth Hotel Transylvania movie coming out. I didn't know
there was a third.
I knew there was a third because it was set on like a cruise ship, and I think Mel Brooks was
I thought that was the second one. What the fuck?
Okay. No, the second one is when his like dad is coming, like he's an ancient vampire, and he's coming to the castle or something. I forget. I've only seen the first one. Yeah, I didn't see a single glimpse of Steve Buscemi's like werewolf character, so I don't know what happened to him. I'm worried that he died in the third one or something. Damn. I don't know. But yeah, there's another one of those coming out, and then DC Super Dogs or something, like Super Pets. That was like a weird teaser. And then the one I had the most issue with was the Paw Patrol movie, which I didn't know enough about Paw Patrol to have issue with it, but now I do. Cats should be allowed in the Paw Patrol. That's offensive. I don't like that.
It's pretty racist, yeah.
Yeah, cats are kind of positioned as like, oh, this like crappy mayor that said no dogs allowed anywhere, he likes cats. And you're like, don't do that. Stop making this divide between pet owners. That's not, our generation did that with cats versus dogs, like with Jeff Goldblum and Nathan Lane and all that crap.
Yeah.
Those weren't good. Like, don't do it again with the Paw Patrol. I think the cats should be in the office, like Barbara Gordon or something with a headset, and they're like talking Oracle, to the Paw Patrol dogs and saying like, hey, you guys breach that door and arrest those people, those drug dealers or whatever the Paw Patrol does. They're cops ostensibly, or rescue heroes. Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. That's a kid's property that's getting a big movie, and I don't know why, but it's obviously, I'm not the target demographic. It was just like, I'm sort of the target demographic for the Space Jam movie, but you've assumed a lot about me by advertising all these things at me. So it was a bit of a weird, like, mental adjustment for all that entertainment that's just not for you at all. It's for someone 20 years younger than you. So
yeah. Can I talk about a few more gags I thought were kind of funny?
Oh yeah, back to the proper Space Jam.
It just itself. I really like the like, I've got Michael Jordan or whatever, then it's Michael B. Jordan. It's a good gag.
That joke got spoiled for me.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, but yes, that they did build up that moment as like kind of their secret stuff moment or something where, oh, I got him, you guys. And then, yeah, it's the actor who then just wishes them well and leaves. So,
and then you realize that it's like, oh, he's obviously an actor because like he's just doing good in his 2 seconds as opposed to LeBron's hour and a half or whatever of on screen time.
Well, the weirdest stuff with LeBron's acting was I found like him pivoting very quickly between like
lines,
haha, we're having fun with Bugs Bunny and laughing, and then like icy stare at like his son or something, and I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Like he just gets real game face, like serious, like at the drop of a hat, and it's just like, so were you faking the joy moments ago, or what's happening? Like it was a bit disconcerting, and I don't know if he was supposed to be like staring down Algie Rhythm or his son Dom sometimes. Like he's kind of just flashing glares over at the other bench. So yeah, weird messages.
I was gonna ask you also, the Goon Squad that they put together, are those actual people that you recognize, or are they just random fucking
No,
NBA
all
people?
of those are real, like 2 WNBA players, Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi, and then 3 real NBA people. 4 actually, no, 3 because Dom plays in the game. I forgot. So you have Klay Thompson was like the water fire guy.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
The splash dude.
Yep.
Damian Lillard was like the clock guy, like the speed, like Quicksilver.
Chronos or something.
Yeah. Yep. Dame time, they really make a big deal about that, and he does a Quicksilver joke essentially.
Yeah.
But it's not that great. And then
it's forgettable.
Who is the third person on the court? I'm trying to. Oh, Anthony Davis, like his LeBron's like teammate in Los Angeles right now. He used to play for the Pelicans. He's the bird guy, and I don't know why he's a bird person, but yeah, he's the brow.
The brow,
and he does have a big unibrow. That's real. So
yeah. Okay, so those people, like, they're no longer part of the Goon Squad. They're back to normal, like they're normal people again. Can they beat LeBron in 1-on-1? Any of them?
Oh, in real life?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, nowadays with LeBron being older,
right.
Damian Lillard could probably score some sick 3-pointers on him, but he's much shorter than him. So if he goes inside, he would probably be in trouble. Anthony Davis is much bigger than him, so he wouldn't have that issue, but he seems to find himself injured a lot. He just kind of bumps into things and whatever, but I think, yeah, like peak Anthony Davis versus LeBron right now, that would be a 1-versus-1. Like they have different games, so it would be at least a matchup of sorts, sort of Dr. J versus Kareem style. Like it's just different situations.
Okay.
But I don't know. Yeah, I kind of wish the real players got like in the first movie they get a bunch of time, like Charles Barkley and Patrick Ewing and all those guys, like the guys whose talent is stolen. They have their own like crisis going on in the real world
because they're nobodies
like,
now. Yeah.
What happened? Like I was at the peak of my game and now I just can't even do anything.
Yeah.
And they're just like in this weird crisis, and it's pretty funny.
Yes, it is.
Here it's like blink and you'll miss it little moment where it's like, oh yeah, I like scanned all those people at like a charity game, and there's just like a quick moment with Dom and his phone with like all these real players. Apparently others were there in the background or something, like real players, but I missed some of that. Like they were just in the credits. Like Draymond Green apparently was somewhere. I don't know. I didn't see him. I'd have to watch it again. I'm not gonna do that for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah. Yeah, the use of real players was kind of a little weird. They become monsters, like you said. Like they're kind of combined with snakes and spiders and birds and
fire, water, something.
Fire, water. I totally thought that was like two different people for a bit. I was like, oh, fire must be Damian Lillard, and then the water guy, Splash Brothers. That makes sense. That's Klay Thompson. It's like, no, it's the same dude. And it's like, all right, hot fire,
wet
or
fire,
whatever.
Wet fire.
Wet fire.
I just looked it up.
Yep. So, I don't know. And then the actual, like, Nerdlux or whatever, the Monstars are briefly in the movie, like, just cheering and stuff. But I thought they were kind of reformed and, like, friends of the Looney Tunes at the end of that first movie. So that they're rooting for the Goon Squad just seems out of character, you know? So I didn't really appreciate that as a fan of the original. So, you know, those 6 writers should have paid more attention to the original movie.
Sure.
And, yeah, taking more notes. Like, where was Bill Murray? Like, really? I think everyone was asking that the whole movie. It's
no,
like,
I don't
Bill Murray
like Bill Murray.
show up?
Don't care.
Like, when is he going to walk through that door and save the day?
I'm looking here. He's credited with an appearance in the credits.
What?
So, I'll read.
Was there, like, a Ghostbuster at the game?
Bill Murray?
No, that's Columbia Pictures.
Oh, sorry. Photographic cameo.
What?
Okay.
Apparently, maybe like a poster or something.
Bill Murray makes a photographic cameo playing golf alongside Bugs Bunny in the credits.
Oh, okay.
I didn't stay through the credits because I was out. I was tired.
I did. Yeah, they kind of wobble all around the screen, and yeah, there's pictures of the Looney Tunes.
Oh, really?
Just kind of slapped over stuff. But I guess I didn't realize Bill Murray was in that golf picture.
Okay, fair enough.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah. No, yeah. Space Jam: A New Legacy in theaters now.
If you were a kid, would you be stoked on this? In the same way, I guess.
Dude, I don't know. I'm trying to... if I was a kid, and I mean, probably a bit, yeah. I liked the Looney Tunes a lot when I was a kid, so I probably would still go see their new movie. That would happen.
How many kids...
I don't know about modern kids. I was trying to I was trying to think through your question of like, if I was a modern kid, I don't know that I would care. Like, there's so much going on in the world.
Like, I'm just wondering, between the age of 6 to like, let's say 14 or something, how many kids around that age give a fuck about Bugs Bunny?
I don't know, because like, what would his current media really be? Like, when we were kids, there was reruns and stuff of those old things like all the time. Like, that was on TV a lot. Like, they'd kind of repackage it as, like, movies and stuff. But it would be like, oh, these are classic old, like, 40s shorts kind of with interstitials to make a movie. And that's just on TV or something. I don't know that any of those characters really have, like, a modern vehicle that they're in. Is there new shows that they're in that people care about?
I don't know.
Because, like Tiny Toons was going on when we were kids. Like, there was they were still relevant in this weird way. I don't know that is true anymore.
Oh, that's right. They did release the new Looney Tunes, and like,
is it doing well? Like,
I'm not
kids
sure.
care?
I'm trying to find some info about it.
Like, I guess what I like, you know, like, sure, LeBron's a skin in Fortnite, but has Bugs Bunny been in anything like that people care about?
Well,
you know,
for Bugs specifically,
there's the sick Apex Legends pack with like Lola Bunny in it. It's like, that's not real. That didn't happen.
It might be now. For Bugs specifically, what the the like fat Bugs Bunny or whatever, the Big
Oh,
Chungus
Big
was
Chungus.
a meme. So
Yeah, Big Chungus was a meme.
so maybe.
So, I guess there's that. I don't think there's really jokes about that in this movie.
He is
but-
Big Chungus makes an appearance in the movie for sure.
What? Like he just eats something?
He
and he's
turns
fat?
into Big Chungus while he's like saying something as like a joke or something. Like he transforms.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay,
because when I
blinked or
noticed it,
something.
I laughed. I was like, okay, they did it.
There's that thing for the kids.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I have it on my computer. I'll see if I can
my
like, get
old
a
man
GIF
eyes
of
couldn't
it or
see it.
something.
I didn't even notice Big Chungus. Yeah.
Maybe you were laughing so hard from seeing bugs on the screen that the tears in
Like
your
the pumpkins
eyes.
bit was still
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
No,
just-
I don't
it
want to
was
give the
a pile of
impression that
pumpkins.
I did hate the movie because I didn't. I thought it was okay.
Right.
I
yeah.
just think that I could have done something better with my time because this obviously wasn't made for me. That's just kind of
Sure. Yeah. As for LeBron's acting, like I think it asks too much too with like the family stuff actually being taken seriously. Like he has to like
yeah.
hug a person who is not his son and like convey fatherly advice to them and stuff. It's just like this is just weird. Like this isn't LeBron's family.
It
This
does
is so
kind
strange.
of ask him to do more. It asks, like, Michael Jordan in the movie sucks at golf, and then he gets teleported to play an awesome game. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't ask him to be a person for an hour before silliness.
Like he kind of just lectures the Looney Tunes about basketball a little bit and like occasionally is rolling his eyes at Wayne Knight or something, but like there's not much that he has to do.
Yeah.
And he kind of just seems like, I don't know, like he doesn't have time for this crap or something. Like there's a certain, like, it might be wooden acting or something, but it sort of like fits just like, no, Michael Jordan's too good for this or something. Like he doesn't care.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but then it's like, oh, okay, this is fine. Like I didn't really notice too often. I think the Looney Tunes are also doing a lot of heavy lifting in that movie of just like, we're just gonna not have Michael Jordan for a while, and like Bugs and Daffy go to steal his shorts or something, and that'll be like 10 minutes of the movie.
Also, he wasn't acting against, like, he was acting against cartoons and like voices and whatever, and with Bill Murray
And
Wayne Knight.
comedians and stuff.
But
yeah,
like
yeah.
here, LeBron is acting against like Don Cheadle, who is an actor and is able to
Yeah.
do this, and he's loving
Like
it. So,
Oscar nominee guy.
yeah, like
yeah.
so it's really easy to compare. It's like, oh right, this guy knows what he's doing, so he can pull off just like this stupid little movie where a bunch of cartoons play basketball together like easily, whereas this other guy
Yeah.
can't pull off anything. So
Although, man, like every time they make like Don Cheadle have to say the server verse, I was
Yeah.
kind of like going, "Oh my god, like this is such a stupid movie." But
yeah,
I don't think it's his fault. It's just
Totally
like
not,
he
no.
had to say like, "Welcome to the server verse." You know?
yeah,
Yeah. Wow. All right.
yeah.
But yeah, Casablanca. You know, that's just in the movie. They go to Rick's and Yosemite Sam is there. Play it again, Sam. Get it? Because
Yep.
oh man,
That's a good one.
I don't know.
It's great.
Yeah, it's a good one. And The Matrix. What were the other movies they go to? Mad Max.
Harry Potter, Game of Thrones is in there.
They kind of swoop through Harry Potter world. They don't really do much there, but yeah.
The like
and then
music
Game of
starts playing or
Thrones.
something as they go through it. That's basically
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to remember where all the characters were scattered to. I don't know. Oh, Austin Powers. Sylvester
yeah.
the cat is Mr. Bigglesworth or whatever, isn't
So-
that
Yeah.
the cat's name?
I almost
Yeah.
wonder, do you think that was like a Pepe Le Pew thing originally, and like they just put Sylvester in because they needed to put like
Well,
they,
he is a cat, so that sort of fits anyway.
I guess, yeah.
But Le Pew is sort of Le Pew mistakes cats for skunks is his thing. So I think it probably was always a cat in that
Oh, okay.
situation. That would make the most sense. Yeah.
But
But it's all stock footage, like, by the way. They're not
Yeah.
like it's really lazy and weird. It's kind of like watching someone play like Seen It or like you're
Yeah.
in the movies or something, but they just kind of put a animated character over a scene that you've seen, which isn't, the most amazing thing, but nah.
Yeah.
Motion pictures.
It is weird how, like, before this movie came out, how much controversy it attracted just because the Looney Tunes are from an age that is no longer appropriate to be around. Like Pepe Le Pew specifically, Lola Bunny, like, having her boobs completely cut off, essentially, because sexualizing animals is weird. Like, I don't know.
They kind of toned down her character design a bit, and she's just a cool athlete in this. It's Rosario Dawson. No, Rosario Dawson is Wonder Woman.
It's Zendaya
in this. Yeah. I didn't really notice. So, yeah. The casting change didn't break my mind.
Yeah, I wonder how many people even actually cared, or if it's just like we can't like let any controversy ruin anything about this movie for them.
Yeah, I was kind of... there was the bit with, like, who should take the step back glitch shot, and I was like, well, which is, like, the most dated character in the Warner Brothers cast? You should put them on the chopping block. But I couldn't think of anybody immediately. Like, Foghorn Leghorn, maybe a little bit, because he's doing this, like, southern, like, plantation owner voice or whatever. It's like, you gotta go, Foghorn.
And what if that's the way they announced that, like, they're just killing off one of the tunes? It's like, remember, from here on out, whenever somebody asks about whoever did it, it's like, oh, he died in the accident.
Oh, no,
remember?
he died in Space Jam 2. You didn't see that? It's like, no, that's canon. Like, that totally happened. Yeah, they should have kept Pepe Le Pew for that moment, and he, like, died.
Killed him off.
I almost thought, like, Bugs was going to just be done, and I was sort of into that idea when it happened. I was like, you know, these are extremely dated cartoons. Maybe they should just have Bugs Bunny canonically die, saving the Tooniverse or whatever. But then it's like moments later, he's just inexplicably in real world place at E3 with LeBron. So it's just like, oh, all right.
Oh, that whole like conversation about who should do the glitch move or whatever, the glitch step. Like they had to say it out loud, but it's just like obvious. LeBron is literally like, I'm not a video game character, so I'm not gonna die. And it's just like, why do you have to say that out loud? Like, it's so obvious.
Right. It's just like, I'm not a tune, so I'm pretty sure I'd be fine. And it's like, no, you don't know that, I think is the counter to that. And it's like, no, that's pretty sound logic though. Like, he is a human that's here, so he would probably revert to being outside of the server or something.
For sure.
Whereas you've never existed. You're an imagination character.
Right. You could glitch. For sure.
Yeah.
But no. That was another line that made me crack up. It's like, I'm not going to glitch. I'm not a video game character. It's like, oh my God, this writing. They had to say it, but yeah, super obvious. I love how they
also that robot that just spits out basketballs. I wonder if that's a real thing. Like he has it at his practice court or whatever.
Yeah.
You just say ball or spaghetti and meatballs, and a basketball will fly.
That was an okay little gag. I thought that was a cute one. That was fine.
Yeah, that was decent with the brothers. But anyway, we should probably move on to our next segment about video games, which is just a complete, like, perfect segue from this movie about a crazy video game gone awry. The Steam Deck, is that thing going to be able to run Dunk Lords? That's a real video game. That's on Steam. It really is.
Yes, it will be able to.
Yeah. But it's so dang heavy. Are your hands going to fall asleep playing it?
Is it heavy? I didn't actually look at the like physical.
Somebody was saying it's like 3 times as heavy as a Switch, which sounds like it could be a problem. Because like Nintendo's done this wrong too. Because like when I got my new 3DS, my hands were starting to like fall asleep during like long Zelda sessions or whatever. Because it was just like I'm holding a big heavy thing at a weird angle sometimes, and it's just like pinching my hands weird. So that's a point of concern. How do you generally feel about this thing? Because I've been in this like Reddit space where the PC people are like weirdly being dicks about Nintendo because of it, and it's just like,
wait,
all
what?
right.
What does Nintendo have anything to do with this?
It's like, oh, total Switch killer. Nintendo's doomed. Bah.
Absolutely not
like,
a Switch killer.
Oh, what about the games? We'll just steal them. We'll play them on Yuzu or some shit. We're gonna pirate all that. And it's like, okay, that you're all criminals, and also, like, good for you. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah. Or the battery life. Another question about it. But
So
I don't know. I'm not convinced by this thing. I'm like pretty sure it's gonna fail, but everyone's being super stoked about it.
The first problem I have with it is that there's a product called the Stream Deck that Elgato puts out. So I always get that mixed up in my head because this is one letter off and it's annoying. That's a personal problem. I think this thing looks like a piece of shit that's overpriced. Because
it's cheaper than other portable PCs, which I guess exist, but yeah.
The thing is that I don't care about a portable PC. I don't travel a lot.
And then the hard drive sizes were bewildering to me because I was like, oh, 64 gigs? Like, I don't think you can play current Call of Duty on it. That's more than that in space, isn't it? Or are they way more efficiently coded on PC than PlayStation?
They have a micro SD card slot for extra space.
So you can expand it to accommodate real games.
Yeah.
But it was just some of the games they're showing off, like Control and stuff. It's just like you basically fill that thing if you put that on there. Like, I don't know if that's cool.
The thing that I've come to kind of think about this product is if you're going to buy one, you should shell out the extra $300 and get the top model.
Yeah, just get the top one. Yeah. Like, it was like, oh, I can't even really consider these other ones as viable because just get the biggest thing you can. If you and it has the anti-glare screen or whatever they were saying, which if you're actually going to play it outside, you're probably going to want that.
It also has a high-speed SSD as opposed to a normal one, so it's just better quality product in general.
Right. The thing everyone gets all like hype about with PC gaming is like, oh, games are like dirt cheap on it.
They're not.
So this is awesome. And it's like, yeah, I mean, the Steam sale does happen.
Yeah.
But even like, I don't know. It got to a point this year where I was looking at like Evil Within 2 and I was like, I still don't want to spend $17 on that. Like, that should be like $5.
It will be. Buy it. Yeah, it will.
Like, I just have to wait more years to want that, I guess. And then I can play it on the go. Like, I'm not gonna play Evil Within 2 on the go.
Yeah,
it's not really. Like, I was trying to think of like stuff in my library that like accommodates this play format. It would be honestly like a Vita replacement, and I would play like virtual novels on it.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing.
Like maybe turn-based RPGs.
Even by you saying that, you have more of a reason than I do for this thing. Like, you actually have a thing that you would get out of it. Like, so, sure.
But it's like relatively cheap, like, games. It's like, oh, Spike Chunsoft put out this $30 thing. I should buy a $700 US like thing in order to play it in my favorite way, which is like as I fall asleep or whatever, because it's like a book.
I felt weirdly curmudgeonly about this because like people have been talking about it online, and we had to talk about it on TDP. And I'm kind of the opinion that like it's a waste of money, and if you're excited about it, you're kind of a fool. But like the thing is I don't also want to like shit on anybody's parade. If this looks like a thing you'll use and you're into it, fucking go for it. Oh yeah,
if this is like gonna make your commute better, or like you find it, like we're in a job where we occasionally have hours of downtime, so in theory I should be kind of jazzed about this, but I don't even bring my Switch to work.
No, why would you?
Because it's just like not the right kind of like,
atmosphere.
Oh, I'm totally zoned out and not paying attention to anything anymore. Like, I can't do that. Like, I can put down a book easier than like a good video game. So
also,
for a brief while I was bringing Animal Crossing to work because like, who cares? You can just drop that and nothing's gonna happen. You're not gonna die.
Yeah, yeah, true.
But eventually that became pointless too. So yeah,
it's a different bubble we live in. Like, so I'll harken back to TDP because obviously we know we're both friends with the other two people. John, they're both getting one. First of all, I'll tell you. John is getting one, and that makes sense. He's always gone. He is always traveling. If like a new game comes out on PC only that he wants to play, at least he can do it now, and he's fine for money. Like, it's not a big deal for him.
I'm actually thinking like something like Bloodstained would be awesome on that. You know?
Sure.
Like, because portable Castlevania, there's like a lineage there.
There's tons of games.
So, and I haven't played that. Yeah. So I could,
it'd be fine. For him especially. I don't understand why Sean's getting one, except for that he buys consoles when they come out, because that's kind of just what he does. But like, he doesn't play a lot of PC games. He's currently not going into the office, so I kind of don't understand why he bought one. But if he wants one, good for him, man. Why not? He does
could
talk
bike
about
out to
video
some park somewhere and then play a video game there.
Sure.
I don't know.
He does travel, like, to just like random places to like check them out and stuff. So he does more traveling than I do for sure. Also, video games are kind of part of his job, and like he talks about them. It makes sense. Like, sure, why not? Now, if you have money and you want one, fucking buy one. I don't give a shit. For me, it's such a waste, though.
It sounds kind of pricey, and then like I don't know. But one of my wishes for this thing in general is like, if this succeeds, will this be a thing that makes like Valve want controller support to be more universal across more games, so that it's like you can play it on the deck, like go back and kind of bully some developers to be like, hey Activision, why doesn't Singularity have controller support? That game came out on 360 and PS3. You should put those like 10 kilobyte files from that on there
for the PC
so that
version.
It just works. Yeah. Because I bought that game fully expecting it to just be like a souped up 360 version, essentially. And it was like, oh, yeah, no, it defaults to mouse and keyboard. I don't want to do that. I'm sitting on my couch. And then it was just like, I had to like get some guys like made a config for it that's weird. It's like the right stick is the mouse on the menus and stuff because they just don't work right. It's just, I don't know, little things like that I still kind of run into here and there. If this shifts reality in some way where everything's more controllery, that would be cool. It didn't work with the Steam controller, but maybe this will do it. I don't know. It's got sticks on it.
It does.
And then the D-pad's like weirdly close to the edge of the whole unit. I was kind of frowning at, but whatever. That's just something.
I feel like it's the type of thing that you need to put your hands on to see if it's like something that bothers you.
Like, does this feel good?
Yeah.
And maybe portable Dark Souls would play better on this than the Switch, because we both tried that, and it's not great.
Not impressive for sure. The thing is that like, even though I do like my Switch, if the Switch didn't play Nintendo games, I would have never fucking bought it.
Oh yeah. So, and then I'm bad at emulating stuff. I like totally almost got a virus trying to get some Dreamcast games. Like, I'm just stupid at it. So like, just like, oh man, I was at work writing this big list of sick Dreamcast games I missed, and then just like typed into Google and clicked on the first thing. And
no.
Like, no, this is real bad. And it's like, I assumed Google kind of screened all that out for me, but it's like, no, they totally didn't, you idiot. So, yeah. I don't know.
I'll give you a link after we're done this.
Sure. I kind of want to play this Genesis game I just found out about, Crusader of Senti. It's like a Zelda clone.
Oh, okay.
That's like $1,000 if you want to buy it real.
Oh my God.
Those are rare. So, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
But anyway, so controller support, that's just my wish for what this does, if it does anything. When is this out? Like this season, this holiday season?
Okay, so here's the thing. If you were lucky and like you got one of the first ones as soon as they went up, you probably will be getting it.
Have one?
No, you'll probably be getting it. They ship out December 21st, so the first part of 2022. Most people have been getting emails saying third or fourth quarter of 2022.
Whoa, dude. That's like not a Switch killer, I'm going to say then. If you can't even like have units available while the Switch is still relevant. Like, also the Switch has been out for like 4 years.
Yep.
And then this thing comes along like, oh, we got the 4K. It's like, all right, sure, I guess. Like, Hollow Knight's going to look so much doper. I don't know.
The thing I will say about it though, like, and this is, I think we talked about this a little bit, is that if you don't have a gaming PC and like,
oh sure,
you are into console stuff, this is not a terrible way to start dipping your foot in there with the ability to do mobile. And that dock does, they're saying 8K at 60 frames or 4K 120 frames on TV. So it's not a bad way to have basically like a PC Steam box that's portable.
And then it does have like a huge back catalog of stuff, like going back many years.
Every PC game like ever, because it doesn't only run Steam games. You can download the Epic Store and other shit on it.
Sure. So. Like they're kind of open that way. So like there's things I see that are upsides of it. I just feel like it's probably still too like unfriendly of a device inherently, because it's still PC gaming for like
maybe.
Oh yeah, my mom's gonna get one of these. You know, like moms of the world got DSs and like played games on those.
And the Wii.
This isn't gonna have that kind of like friendly face on it. It's like big picture and stuff, but it's still gonna oh yeah, you need to like, before I could even play Singularity, I had to like get an older version of PhysX so that it would open. Like it was like, oh yeah, you have like too recent a version of PhysX, you got to get like this 2014 version. That's like the last one that was supported, and it's like, wow, weird. Okay, and then
that's a thing
that worked.
Yep.
Yeah, like it's like first time startup didn't catch that was a missing file or a thing. It just kind of would not open the game. Like anyone on my friends list was probably seeing me like, Nathan is playing Singularity like 20 times, because I was just like, what? Just open. Like just clicking it over and over. So yeah, if it's like that. Hey, also Singularity is still kind of cool. Like once I finally got to play it, I was shooting monsters and they were blown apart pretty good. The guns in that game feel pretty gnarly. Nolan North totally got shot. It was crazy. And then time stuff's going on, as it turns out. Element 99 is not what they hoped it was. It's messing with time in some crazy ways. So, you know. And I saved a dude that turns out to be worse than Stalin or something. Like I forgot that's how that story kicks off.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It's a fun BioShock ripoff or whatever. Raven did okay. But and maybe it's great with mouse and keyboard. Like I don't doubt they know how to make good mouse feel, because their PC head's going way back, but on my couch I just don't have a great setup for that. So that's why I was mad at it. But yeah. I mean, I'm at the point where I don't do any gaming on the couch really anymore. So like that stuff doesn't bother me. But yeah, I also would never hook my computer up to my TV because of that reason. I basically literally like I then just like clicked and was like, what games have full controller support?
Yeah.
Like just show me those only in my Steam library. And then I played all of Limbo. Like I just played Limbo again, because like, oh yeah, Limbo. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I remembered it, and you know, I didn't get the die less than 5 times achievement. I was hoping that would happen, but it's been too long. I just kind of made some dumb mistakes, fell into water, you know, dumb stuff. So got killed a bunch, but I found an egg I hadn't found before though. So I did get one more achievement on this run.
Okay.
And
cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting.
Time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, did you have topics you wrote down? I'm looking at my list of stuff.
It's literally Space Jam. That's why when you said you want to, if you had said like no to it,
Space Jam,
like, I would have been like, nah.
Then.
I'm good.
All right.
Yeah.
My last assertion is just kind of this is just Nathan's hot take for the week or whatever.
Okay.
The golden age of TV is done. It's over, actually.
It's been over for a while, though, is the thing.
Yeah, maybe. Like, I just woke up and realized it when I read the Emmy nominations this year and was just kind of like, oh, I don't care about, like, any of this. But,
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was kind of...
Because, like, there are things I do like that are still on TV, quote-unquote, but I download them or stream them, and they're not the big things people talk about.
And I like current shows like Better Call Saul and Rick and Morty and whatever, but like it just doesn't feel like there's that same like everything is amazing.
Oh yeah,
right now.
No,
it's
totally.
Crazy. Like the glut of talent in this industry is insane. It's like, no, I think people have gone back to like making movies for stuff.
Yeah.
And like it's just not the same.
YouTube
as it
videos,
was, like, 5 years
podcasts,
ago.
Patreon, all those people are like doing
Something's happened. Yeah, it's splintered out again, and I just don't think it's where it was. So
totally.
the wiki page doesn't say it's over yet. They're still kind of saying it's going on, but nah, it's done. It's actually over. I don't know what date you'd put on it. Maybe the Game of Thrones finale. That was the day it ended. But
I think a
say?
lot of people would have said that, but I wasn't too invested
like,
in Game of Thrones, so I didn't care myself. But yeah,
right, yeah,
a lot of people did. So.
Yeah, I've just in hindsight, will show that it actually had ended by 2021.
So what?
Maybe the pandemic killed it. I don't know.
Honestly, maybe. What were you looking at? Like,
oh, just the Emmys. Like, it was just like so few shows were just getting all of, like, The Crown just gets like 4 of the actress nominations or something. And you're just like, come on, like, there's got to be more shows. And it's like, no, this is it. Like Handmaid's Tale. I know you guys out in my Twitter sphere love the Ted Lasso. I don't know what that is. It's apparently about soccer.
So
I don't
Ted
understand
Lasso
how I'd enjoy
is on
it.
Apple TV, which means nobody in the world except people that download it know what it is.
Our smart TV might let us buy that or subscribe to it.
If you have an Apple account, you still have to pay for the subscription unless like.
Yeah, I think we'd have to still subscribe. They're do they have the new Twilight Zone on there too? What else do they?
Oh, maybe there's something else that they have on there that I've been into. I'm trying to remember what it is now. Oh, I really like Mythic Quest, but I know a lot of people don't, so whatever.
Okay, but yeah, Ted Lasso. Like, I like Jason Sudeikis, but it's him, right?
Yeah, Ted Lasso's about a really nice, well-to-do man who goes from the U.S. to coaching soccer in the UK because of the soccer team leader or the person who owns the team is trying to like destroy it basically to get back at her her ex-husband who loves the team. So that's why she brings him, because he's kind of like known as a loser coach or whatever. And it's just like a really nice like human story sort of thing. It's hard to explain.
Weird.
It's just good characters and good writing more than anything.
Okay. It got like a ton of I think it got 13 nominations.
That's crazy.
At this year's Emmys. So I was just like, what is going on? Like, I don't know what this is.
Good for them.
But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It was more just like the kind of like short list of shows that were just eating up multiple nominations and categories. It was just weird. So I don't know. It was like, this pool's a little thin. The age of TV is over. That was the.
I'm trying to find the
snarky
list of. I guess nominees winners would probably be.
And then Handmaid's Tale just continues to exist, and I don't really like. Didn't they eat that book already? I don't really know what's happening anymore.
I'm not actually.
I guess there's
sure
a sequel.
either. I never got into it.
I guess there's tons of material, like just some dystopic future with like the patriarchy. Like you can keep writing things that pertain to that. I guess.
Yeah, kind of.
But I don't know. I haven't. It's just every time we think about watching that show, it's just like that's going to be a heavy show. I just don't want to deal with that right now.
I've heard it's a real bummer from people that watch it. So yeah.
No, it sounds like the heaviest thing ever. So it's just I don't want to deal with that today. So I'll just rewatch this Hellraiser Rick and Morty episode, which was pretty funny.
Yeah.
The car was in it too. It killed Galactus basically. That was a bit. So, spoilers.
I'm trying to go through the kind of list here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know a lot of these. Oh my god, you're right. Outstanding directing for a comedy series. 3 people from Ted Lasso.
Oh yeah, just like multiple episodes. It's like, I guess you guys really like it, but nothing else is going on out there.
I don't know what Hacks or Pen 15 are. They're getting a bunch of shit too.
For Hulu, yeah. Yep. It spells
I don't know, there's some okay stuff here. I liked The Mandalorian. I know not everybody did, but
I didn't really like this season very much. Yeah.
But
okay. I'm old. I was like, ugh, Clone Wars. Back in my day. Like, I was just crappy about it, so Asuka or whatever. I don't care about that. That's not a real person. Ugh. Like, who's this
Wait, what do you
lady
mean back
dressed
in
up
our
like
day?
Boba
That was
Fett?
Our Day. Our Day
No.
wasn't the original trilogy. That was like 10 years before Our Day.
Well, they brought it back in the late 90s for us. But yeah,
Sure.
yeah. The special editions were my day. and that final VHS release. That was peak Star
Our Day
Wars,
was
as far as
the
I'm
original
concerned.
trilogy, really.
Yo, Shadows of the Empire, that was peak Star Wars.
Shadows of the Empire.
I tell myself that lie every day.
Every single one. I don't
No,
know.
Dash Rendar, dude. That was real.
I don't know a lot of these. I don't know like Uncle Frank or Christmas on Times Square, whatever the fuck this is.
Yeah.
Weird. I'm sure there are people that have seen all of these shows. I've seen like 3 that I've seen that like
Queen's Gambit was popping up in there. I know
I haven't seen
Brittany
it.
watched some of that, but yeah. But then kind of gave up on it, so I don't know.
Yeah.
But
WandaVision is getting too much praise.
WandaVision's getting a lot of nominations, yeah.
I liked WandaVision, but there's no way it should win this much shit that it's fucking nominated for.
Maybe
That's
it
crazy.
won't. Yeah, like they had open slots.
It must be. It's
Yeah.
weird how many times it showed up there for a second.
Oh, that said though, I hope like what's her name? The Catherine, like the evil witch lady, I would nominate her for best supporting. Like honestly, I thought she was great.
Yeah, she was good.
Dahan or whatever. Like of any of the acting, like she's acting circles around Elizabeth Olsen
Yeah.
in that show. It's just I don't know. Whatever. Hopefully she's on that list. I didn't notice.
I didn't really notice either. I've been kind of going through them really quickly since we're doing a podcast thing here.
Yeah.
I never saw the South Park Pandemic special, but apparently that's worth
Oh.
And-
Yeah, I did.
was it
I
amazing?
think there's a pangolin in it. There's a lot of like fucking bat jokes.
Okay.
I think is how it went.
Yeah, that makes sense. Love, Death, and
Yeah,
Robots
I think it
is on
still
here.
involves Randy's weed farm somehow. Like, yeah, it was a South Park thing. It was all right. If you're still okay with South Park's weird political, like, I don't know where they are anymore on the spectrum. They seem to piss off everybody. Like, it's just kind of.
I don't know. I'm kind of sick of people being pissed off about political stuff just in general, so fuck them.
Yeah, I still kind of find my way to enjoying South Park, maybe in spite of both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah, for sure.
But it's like, oh, are you just being centrist? It's like, I guess me and Trey and Matt are just hanging out here.
The only thing that's important is if that South Park episode is funny. If it's not, that's the crime. If it's not funny.
Oh, they poked some fun at the NBA for just kind of being complicit in all of China's bullshit.
Oh yeah,
which sort of fair, I guess, because they want them dollars. They need it. They want that money, so they're not going to get mad at.
Look, it ain't just the
situations.
NBA. They're just the ones that were a little more public about it than a lot of people.
Right. Oh, the Rockets specifically got in some hot water over a bunch of stuff with that. But yeah, you can't say anything supportive about Hong Kong, even though they made all those dope Jackie Chan movies, and we all know it. I got my Laserdisc copy of First Strike today, so
What? All right.
That's not true. I got it weeks ago. I just finally opened the box.
Oh, okay.
But it was just sitting in the living room. But yeah,
Sure.
it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I think. I haven't seen it in a long time. He uses a ladder to fight dudes, and that's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
Okay, final bit I have is sort of an okay video bit, but it's about this movie I watched called Pandorum. Did you ever see Pandorum?
Oh, that's years ago. That is that. Oh my God, I was gonna call him a bad name. Ben Foster, right?
Yeah.
I was gonna say
the main
the
guy.
R slang kid because he played that in a TV show.
Oh, the rich, or in Alpha Dog, or what are you talking about?
He played a mentally handicapped teenager
Oh,
in
did he?
something. So I always,
Okay.
for a while I referred to him as the R kid. Yeah. Anyway.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were gonna say he was kind of okay. Wrong thing you can't say. I was thinking you were going with. He kind of plays a gangstery dude in Alpha Dog.
Sure.
So, yeah.
He was fine in
Okay.
No, that is not what I was referring to though.
Okay. Ben Foster's in it. He wakes up very confused and disoriented in his like sleep pod on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And Dennis Quaid is there. And him and Dennis Quaid are kind of trying to figure out what's going on. They're really confused because, as far as they know, they are en route to a great Goldilocks planet out there. It's going to be awesome when they get there. It's the new, like, Earth is in trouble. Like, they're about to explode, apparently, like Titan AE style. I don't know why. And they had to bail. So their ship is heading out. And the biggest threat on this spaceship is going crazy. And they call that Pandorum, when you go space crazy.
Sure.
Just from kind of cabin fever or just the existential weight of this horrible mission they're on kind of crushes your brain. It's hard to really say. But yeah, this movie is kind of deliberately like not telling you what's going on because there's going to be a big twist in the final 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Which sometimes I like that. Sometimes I hate that. I kind of liked it this time. My friend Ryan did not. So we kind of disagree. I kind of played a little close to the vest in the episode because I didn't want to get into big argument, but I kind of thought it was a good movie. Like, I didn't want to be too effusive about it.
I remember enjoying my time with it.
Yeah. There's like weird mutants on the ship. Like, they're kind of weird orc people. And I was kind of into that. It was just crazy. So, yeah.
Okay. Let's, fuck. I wish I remembered it better. Play devil's advocate for yourself. What's bad about it? Like, what are the things that you're just like, I could see why you would like not like this?
I mean, it kind of, it's really reliant on its final act twist. And then as a result, it doesn't really get to feel like an outer space movie in a lot of senses because it isn't happening the way the characters think it is. So there wouldn't be a lot of that stuff in this premise, but yeah, it's still on a ship. Like, they're still on a spaceship, but all of the kind of more sci-fi things, other than this kind of like shockwave cannon, which I thought was fine. It's kind of like that thing in Minority Report, you know, the like shockwave gun that Tom Cruise and Colin Farrell are fighting each other with.
Sure.
Remember that movie?
I do.
Yeah. There's sort of a wrist variant of that. And then I didn't know Dennis Quaid was in it before I sat down, so I was kind of like, oh, hey, Dennis Quaid. Like, I was kind of happy about that because I never think about Dennis Quaid.
Nobody does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As to what's wrong with it, I guess there was kind of some anticlimactic like fights and stuff with the mutant creatures that I didn't really care about. Like, there was like this big knife fight kind of thing that happens. It's like, why is this? But I don't know. Like, some of the tertiary characters get offed in like weird ways that didn't, you know, kind of a waste of screen time.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Overall, it was just kind of, it felt like a movie you could watch like one time because it has like a rug pull in it. Sure. And once you've had that happen, you just know that that's what it is. And I don't know that you could enjoy it again knowing.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to say what it is exactly.
It's the Shyamalan thing.
Kind of, or like Usual Suspects for me is a big one where it's like the whole movie's a lie, and it's like, all right, well, now I just feel mad. Like, I'm not jazzed about having been just deceived for the whole time.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
It's not a great like vibe. But here it's like the characters are confused about what's happening and are trying to figure it out, like solve the mystery essentially, and you're there with Ben Foster who's all confused and amnesiac and whatever, so it kind of works. So I don't know. I was overall like fine with where it went and how it goes. Like, it was also a movie where I was like guessing where it was going to go as I was watching it, so that was like an engaging guesswork game, kind of like when you're watching a mystery and you're trying to figure out who done it. Like, it kind of had some of that going on. So
sure. And
because I was taking notes for the podcast, I could write down my dumb theories as it was going on. Like, just like, is any of this real? Is this like a training exercise or something?
Oh yeah.
Is Norman Reedus even here, or is this a part of Ben Foster's psyche? And it's like, no, that's not what they're doing. That was literally a person, and he got ripped apart. Oh, okay. Like, just, yeah. He's basically in it as a cameo favor to, like, the director, so I don't think I spoiled anything important with Norman Reedus.
Sure. Yeah. I'm trying to kind of take the lead from you and just be like, yeah, you're right.
Cameo.
Yeah, you're right. We shouldn't, like, say what the thing is.
Well, it would ruin the whole movie. I feel like it's a movie worth watching one time if you read over it and want to see what that is. It's not bad. It's okay. In fact, where we are in our batch right now, it's like probably one of the better space horror movies we've seen because we go into some kind of dicier ones. But yeah,
Sure.
which we're just starting now. So I have those in the can because Ryan's going to have a busy couple weeks ahead. So we're not going to be able to do new ones for a bit.
Sure.
But yeah. Oh, there's a cat rubbing right against the microphone.
He looks so happy though.
Yeah. It's got enough friction to scratch his face. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's great.
Audio.
Great. Cool. I'll tell you about a movie I think you should see if you haven't. I don't.
Okay.
I won't say too much about it, but did you watch Nobody? I know you like Bob Odenkirk, so.
No, I do like Bob Odenkirk. I have not seen Nobody.
Do you like John Wick?
What's going on? No.
Oh, you might not like it then. It's definitely very much in the camp of a John Wick, where Bob Odenkirk plays a character that is extremely good.
It's not his dog though, or something, right? Because that was a
What?
big sticking point for me. Is like the thing is his dog gets killed. I was like, pfft. So as long as it's not that,
it's a little actually more. I would say like. I don't know. It's not like a weird like MacGuffin thing where something has to happen. It's more like the thing inside him has been latent for a few years, and then it gets brought back out by like a home invasion, essentially, sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So he's like an expert assassin or something, like a John Wick.
He is a thing that like.
Okay.
They called him an auditor in the like military. And there's kind of like an early joke of like he was just an auditor or blah blah blah, and then you find out it's like, oh, the reason why they call him an auditor is because he's the last person you want to see at your door because he's there to wipe out everything in the area.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So it's a little play on words there.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay. Because like Odenkirk's getting old. Like, does he?
I think that's kind of why it works. Yeah, because like
okay.
Keanu has kind of a weird, goofy, serious tone in everything he does, including John Wick, I feel. And that's fine. It's part of his charm. Bob Odenkirk has something similar, but it's a little more subdued, and it makes him a little creepier in a lot of ways.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like Better Call Saul a lot, but like that show's ostensibly taking place in a short timeline, but he's starting to like age between seasons because it's like 2 years or whatever between them.
Yeah.
So they got to wrap that show up. That's all I mean.
It might be worth checking out. Nobody.
Okay. What's it on? Is it readily available?
I think if you wanted to get it
Prime?
legally, you could pay to like rent it on like the Cineplex app or something like that.
Oh, sure. Okay. I'll check just watch.com or whatever, see what's going on.
Yeah.
.ca actually, or is it .com/Canada? Something weird. Anyway, it's a website.
Apparently it's
about
playing
watching stuff.
in Canyon Meadows here in Calgary if you want to go to the theater.
Hey, they have like mini donuts there, so sounds pretty awesome.
9:35 p.m.
Oh, it started an hour ago, so somebody's enjoying it right now. But
Probably not. Seems a little like older, maybe. Yeah, anyways, like I'm not going to talk too much more about it because there's not a whole lot to talk about that isn't just like gushing about specific parts that were like, yeah, that was cool. And it's like, that's pointless if one of us haven't seen it.
Okay. One of my big issues with John Wick, the first one anyway, was like, it was really like just this action movie cliche that they chose to use that I felt the movie was already beyond. Because like we've already seen John Wick like waste 25-year-olds murderers in their prime, right? Like 30 people.
Yeah.
Like elite ninjas. He's just killing.
Uh-huh.
And then it comes down to like him versus like
the boss, essentially. Guy.
Mikhail Blomkvist from the Dragon Tattoo movie, who's like a 57-year-old Swedish guy.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh, John Wick would just eat this guy. Like, you just rip his heart out. It would be nothing. And then it's like, no, it's like the biggest, longest fight in the movie. It's like, what is happening? Like, why is this? The boss character, if they suck, they wouldn't be awesome. Like, unless you have a big wrestler or something.
Yeah.
Or like an expert kickboxer, it doesn't make sense that this fight would be the longest, most drawn out fight. It should be the shortest, most snap necky moment in the movie.
Sure.
You know? But I
think,
don't know.
Okay.
Like Jeff Bezos isn't good at fighting. You know,
Right,
if
he
John
just
Wick
has
had
money.
to destroy him,
He could.
he would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But he's rich, so he would hire a bunch of like elite dudes to protect him.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Or he'd have some sort of like, you know, in Mr. Burns is the boss battle in the Simpsons game, he has like some sort of robot that he goes into, right?
Sure.
So he'd have to do that. Or Lex Luthor or whatever.
Even
like,
Lex Luthor, yeah, as buff and like strong as he was as a human, he still needed a thing to fight Superman.
Yeah, he has to get in a super suit to tangle with the superheroes that are trying to stop him.
Yeah.
So, you know, just simple stuff. Like, so whatever, like he should have gotten into some sort of car that then turned into a robot thing, and then he fights John Wick, and then it would have been the coolest movie I watched that day.
And then
instead of the second coolest, because I watched Nightcrawler.
Oh, okay.
So,
sure.
Yeah. It's just, you know.
You might enjoy the way this take on it then, because you very much feel like most of the time, like he does like in some parts just get like the shit kicked out of him as he's fighting. So that's kind of like, he's not a perfect killer or anything. He's a dude that killed in the past or whatever. And then like, I think the more interesting thing is how the big finale thing goes off is like, he basically Home Alones it, where he like sets up a bunch of like a house of like horrors essentially for the Russian mafia.
Right. Oh man. Which can be great.
Yeah.
Like I've seen that work well. I've also seen Rambo Last Blood, and it's just awful. Like it's just so bad.
Last Blood. What is that man. Is that the one that came out in like 2007 or something? 6?
No, there was the reboot in 2000, or there was the sequel in 2008, where he goes back to the jungle or whatever. This was like 2 years ago, and it's basically like
I never watched this.
Oh, it's so bad. It's like it's all of the American like we just don't trust Mexico kind of stuff. It's the worst about it. It's just like, yeah, if there was a wall, maybe we could stop this from happening. Like there's basically stuff like that. And it's just like, wow, okay. And then just the worst revenge story gets cooked up, and yeah, it was the worst movie I've seen in a long time.
I have to see this.
It was real terrible. Yeah. Oh man.
Great.
Yeah. Anyway, he does the kind of Straw Dogs thing or the Skyfall thing where he sets up a bunch of gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
But the cartel guys should not be like, oh, weird. He's got like a series of tunnels under his farm. Should we go in there? And it's just like, no. What are you doing? Just leave or wait. Like, what are you don't have to go into danger worlds to kill one dude who's like 70. It makes no sense whatsoever. It was real too bad, you know. If you've been holding out like Stallone love for a long time, despite Stop or My Mom Will Shoot and everything that happened, it was not one that helps that case. Ooh, yeah.
I'm stoked to see
action
this.
Heroes. Sometimes they age out of, you know, they shouldn't do things anymore. You know.
True.
Oh.
All right.
That was a movie. Anyway.
That was a podcast, I think.
That was a podcast. Yeah, thanks for joining us. I think we kept it reasonably positive. I'm just looking through the list again. We kind of talked some mess about the Steam Deck and whatever. But if you're a person who needs it, you should get it. Don't let us put a bee in your bonnet. You could totally play Bloodstained on the bus. Which is great.
If somebody gifted that to me for whatever reason, I wouldn't like turn it down or anything.
Oh sure, I'd use it.
Yeah,
I'd try to
totally.
figure out ways to use it. Yeah. So yeah, no problem with that.
Yeah.
But as like a big purchase, it's a question mark for sure. It's not a must slam dunk thing, you know.
Especially
even though you could play Dunk Lords on it. So
especially since I don't even have a PS5 that has exclusives I want on it even.
Yeah. I'm still just kind of real estate of that thing is crazy, you know, but it's like 2 towers on both sides of our TV would have to happen for that. And I don't know. But anyway, thanks for sailing with us. On the Good Shit Pixel Response. I've been Nathan, and this was Paul.
That was me. Yep.
Yeah. And we'll see you next time. Thanks for joining us.
Bye.